especially, and the younger you are, the more flexible it is. So
Yeah.
we know from the research that personality doesn't like fully crystallize until about almost late 20s, sometimes early 30s. It's
Oh,
quite
really?
stable for a lot of people over the lifespan, but if you're looking at personality in children, you wouldn't even measure personality in that way. We might call it temperament. But you can't really
Mm-hmm.
start measuring personality in a stable way until adulthood, really. But then
Mm.
even when you're 18, 19, 20, it can still change. For a lot of people, it's pretty stable. But I've worked with people, or in research, I've found that there are examples of people who take personality tests in college. They think they'll act a certain way in the workforce. They think they're this type of person, and then they kind of get into a different reality of actually working in a different environment than college. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, the way they understand themselves in relation to others is different. The way they thought they would act in work is substantially different than their past experience. That's fairly rare. By about 20, 25, most people have fairly good insight into themselves. But it still can change, right? Things can change at 10 years old, 15
Mm-hmm.
years old, 20 years old, depending on what that environment is, what your experience, what your level of self-awareness is in different environments. Because some people, can go to be 20, 25 and have a very limited range of experience, only working with, certain types of people and certain types of
Yeah.
environments. And all of a sudden the world is a
100%.
lot bigger than you realize. And some people get that experience much earlier.